Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL. And today we have a really big bracelet that I just got done making. Um, this was 22 strings. It took me about 2.5 hours to make, give or take, um, which is kind of a long time for a bracelet. But this one, like I said, 22 strings, it's kind of wide. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's one of the videos that you can find if you look at my shorts. You can find out how we did the Kumi to it. Mandy came up with this cool way that normally you have two colors next to each other going around all the spots on the thing. But because this is 22 and not a 20, you have like two extra strands. So what to do with that? Well, she took three darks and put them down next to each other like they were just the two strings. And so the way that they alternate is just like the regular normal thing. Um, but it allows the pattern to continue looking the same way. It doesn't really change anything in the texture or anything else with the whole thing, which is kind of weird. Normally that sort of happens. But in this case, it really doesn't. So, I mean, she's really come up with a method that works really, really good for something like this. So if you're interested in that, that's, again, I just kind of show you what it looks like on the shorts. It operates just like a Kumi. Okay, this bracelet, um, most of the colors get exchanged with counterparts throughout the whole thing, with the exception of the light blue. I went with a white and then a light blue, a medium, and then there's several of the dark blues. Um, so it is the light blue is the one that runs short. It kind of made it so that my tassels are shorter than I would have maybe have done. At least one of them is. And that really just came down to the fact that there was no more light blue there to extend the tassel out any further. So, I mean, it's still long enough to put on. It's just, it might not fit somebody who's really big or maybe somebody that wanted to put it on their ankle, is all. So that's just something to keep in mind if that's something that, you're concerned with. Just remember that light blue one is probably the one that you need to have the longest. Um, there were some hangups. You'll actually see me taking out some knots here at one point, and that is because most of the time the strings coming out, like if you watch this white string comes out, right? It comes all the way out, right? It comes straight off like that. And that happens in this bracelet a lot. And I got used to that. However, when it gets to the middle, the white, it looks like it should go straight out, but it doesn't. It comes in and it has to, so that way it can be available to do some of the neat part where it looks like it's sort of, I don't know, the top part's sort of a spiral. I don't know what you would say the other part is. It's like it's twisted or something. There's something going on there. Anyways, the white has to be in a certain spot in order to make that work. And I got lulled into this idea that it just keeps going out. And that got me twice, actually. So, yeah, you got to watch for that one. Um, Other than that, I guess the other real thing is um, because the the part we talked about this in the pattern making, it's sort of like a screw coming around, right? It repeats sort of. Well, okay, so the first one has like a circle and coming down. The next one is sort of just almost an L shape, but with an L with like a little nub on it, and the L shape does it a second time. And it was a great concern of mine that maybe I would screw up and do it too many times, right? Or get it somehow wrong. Um, Again, that was just something that I figured, you have to pay attention for. Because if I did it one time more, for sure we would have had problems of running out of strings and stuff. Like the pattern was really designed based on the strings I use, based on what I do, based on all that kind of stuff. So that's sort of important, right? Um, yeah. Other than that, I mean, okay, so like the arrowhead thing that we tossed on the top and the bottom, that barely even registers when you look at the bracelet. The center part takes up like your attention. Like when you look at it, everything else is just a radiation of color around that thing that's happening in the middle. So it's like it takes up space and it makes it sort of cool or whatever. Um, but the main thing of this is this little twisty part that's going on. Now, as far as like this part here, all this seemed to be kind of easy. Um, Again, it was just a little bit of worrying about um, am I going to have trouble like doing one too many kind of thing. But overall, you know, the like the that blue that just came down, knowing where it has to turn, that was kind of simple because it turned at that color, at the white, right? So like as you're watching the pattern, like okay, that goes to white. The medium blue went to a medium blue, so I didn't actually zigzag it at all. I let those interchange each time. Um, I think I get the segmenting down a little bit better. Like here, I had to stop working on the stuff that was on the right to get the things done on the left in order to bring the stuff from the right down the left. I think as I progressed, that got a little bit better. Yeah. Oh, and the little bumps on the side, like, okay, so where the white does the little comes in, um, that was another one. I was worried that, getting the count wrong on those. Um, Turns out it was fine. Everything came out fine. Um, it's just the last one of those, the white is the one that bounces in. Otherwise, the white goes out straight, and that's probably what messed me up is the fact that it was always the same thing, and I got into a pattern, kind of a rut, whatever you call it, and then yeah, still, it is though overall a gorgeous bracelet. Absolutely, if you are intermediate at least kind of bracelet maker. I mean, it's it's a bit advanced. I'm not gonna lie. This thing is. See, watch. Here comes that white, and see, I went straight with it. That was the one that was supposed to bounce in, and here I'm gonna go covering it up with a whole bunch of other stuff. I have to take all this out. Yeah. Um, it is intermediate for sure. Maybe heading towards the advanced. Um, but it's a lovely bracelet. I really do like this one an awful lot. I could totally wear it. I would totally rock that. It's awesome. Um, we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I'll probably put it in the shop. I've got I've got a number of bracelets around that I could wear. So what else? Yeah, there's not a lot of other than like the things to look out for where the white had changed up. Um, the counting the number of the little S thingies. Other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot of things that you have to, and the light blue being too short. There's not a whole lot of other things to really have to watch for. It's just one of those patterns where you will have to pay attention, no question. Um, yeah, I don't know. I suppose I suppose I could have gone back and watched. I made this during a live stream over there for the members that get the behind the scenes stuff. And I suppose thinking now, I should have maybe rewatched that whole thing and seen if there was any other clever moments that I had. I really see I did this straight out thing again there. Um, yeah, but let's see. Yeah, most of this. Yeah, see that there was a whoops right there. Got that fixed, and then I have to. Yeah, I figured it out when I saw that the three darks were in a row, and that didn't make sense. And yeah, and then yep, there he goes. The other oops. So yeah, I was watching um some Netflix. I was watching the Yo Yo Hakusho or Yu Yu Hakusho. I don't know how you say it, but yeah, that's a lot of fun. That's that's like I watched this back in the 90s. Used to, be on in the afternoons, on like Cartoon Network or something. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I certainly haven't watched it in order. So I didn't catch some of the storylines, like how he got proficient with his powers and how he became the thing. So that was a lot of fun, and we talked a lot about that while making it. Um, I don't know what else. What else did we talk about? I think it was just the fact that this thing just took a long time. It's a pretty complex pattern, and there was a lot of trying to sort out how to get areas done. Um, there was a lot of challenges. It was pretty intense. Oh, in that area, yeah, there's a lot of like things that have to change directions in order to put strings in the exact order where they need to be. So yeah, that area is definitely a challenge for sure. Like, yeah. And I'm mostly in this case just working far away from the clip so you guys can see what's going on. And actually, I kind of thought that while I was making it, I thought it looked like it was too dark, but now that I see it, it looks really good. Like I was afraid I was going to have to like um try to go into the editor and try to mess with the brightness or do something because it didn't look right. But no, now I see it on the screen. It looks great. I don't know. Confusing. Um, yeah, there is a lot of double checking and rechecking the pattern to make sure I had this thing doing what it was supposed to do. It was it was something, man. I tell you what, this took some doings. And it does kind of change once you get to the middle. There is because everything was sort of working out, now it's sort of working inwards. That's a bit of a difference. Kind of took a minute to kind of get used to that. But oh, hey, we're at the middle. I need to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members who make this stuff possible. String costs money, all this other stuff to make all this stuff happen. It just all takes money, and people chipping in just a little bit adds up to making all this stuff possible. So thank you guys very much for making this my dream actually possible. on our way to being monetized for YouTube. That's coming hopefully soon. But in the meantime, this is one way for me to make sure that I can still provide all of this. And yeah, I really do appreciate that awful lot. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there that watch my videos, and I'm absolutely grateful to that, guys. You guys are amazing. Um, it's sometimes I get the comments, that how I've helped somebody to overcome some aspect, and it never fails to blow my mind. I absolutely that's the best, guys. So thank you very much for that. Um, yeah. So at this point here, yeah, they're bringing in the medium blue, and then here comes the light blue. So the light blue turns at the white, and then the white has to go out and back in. And at this point now, the white is something easy to contend with. It just goes off to the side. Like the hard part is actually over at this point. The only thing left to contend with is making sure that you don't accidentally do one too many of that little part that goes over. Um, yeah. If you guys make this, I would love to see this in some other colors. I mean, the blue fade is cool, but I got a feeling that like this could be really neat. Um, like if you did like a red, orange, yellow, white, so it's kind of like a flame kind of colors, that kind of thing. That would be really, really cool. Um, Even if you messed around with like the purples or anything, whatever you guys do, I would like to see that. So um, you can share it through Instagram or Discord. We have a Discord channel. A lot of people sharing what they're making, and it's always fun over there. So that would be kind of neat, you know. Yeah, I would make it in another color for sure if it wasn't for the fact that like I have to, you know, keep ahead on the videos. We're doing daily videos, obviously, if you haven't noticed. Well, weekdays, work days. Um, and then we have a live stream on the weekend. So, yeah. But yeah, all that stuff keeps me busy and not enough time to just go and remake it things periodically unless I do something majorly different to it, which I don't know what else I would possibly do different to this pattern. Um, I mean, I guess instead of doing the arrowheads at the end, I could have um, just brought it up as chevrons. That might have been cool. If I was gonna do that, maybe I could have added in one more of that twisty thing. I'm not sure where that would have brought me to. Yeah, I think I could fit one more in there. And then it would have just come together as like a chevron kind of thing, which that might be cool too. If that's something you guys really, really want to see and you want to see it in some other colors, let me know. Maybe we do it. Um, I have a bunch of other patterns I want to kind of redo, so maybe this could go into that group. I think this is where the white comes down and we go into the last where it kind of looks like it comes looping back up. Yeah, yeah, it is. And I can't help but to think that it looks like like I know that I'm in the home stretch and that it's going just a little bit faster. I don't know why that always is. It's always like once we start to get to the end, it's like, oh yeah, here we go. So that's funny to me. It's always a thing. Yeah, so this is building out the whole little middly part thing. Bring these in, and then yeah, it starts to, so it does the dark one, and then it goes into like a very, very brief. There's only like two pieces to this arrowhead thing that I added to it. And like I said, seriously, when I look at the bracelet from afar, that's not the part that catches my eye at all. Um, if I study it a little bit, I can see that it makes it interesting, but it still, it does not dominate the bracelet at all. Doesn't make it much of a difference. Oh yeah, you can see I did the little bit extra on the right so that way I could bring the left, yeah, the left hand side. I had to double check. Oh my god. For a minute there, I'm like, wait, do I have my left and right? Yeah, to bring the left down to be able to do the first of the little things there. Yep, there it is. So there's the first of our arrowheads. One more to go. Um, this part is a little bit weird as well. It's the same thing at the beginning, but the way that the white does that little L shape and then the darker blues kind of work around it, that part was a little bit weird, but um, it's not terribly difficult. It was kind of easy to follow along. And you can see that this pretty much locks up most of everything from the left hand side. And yeah, we just have this little bit on the right now. So yeah, the end the end comes rather abruptly here. So this want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was a fun make. Despite how long it took and how worrisome it got about the light blue string, at the end of the day, it turned into this really, really cool bracelet. So yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, yeah. If you guys have ideas, things you want me to work on, want to try, leave it in the comments, and we'll see what we can do. I'm always open to ideas. So, all right, guys. As always, don't get your strings in a bunch.